our first presenter, Peter Ennis. Peter owns a company called Take the Lead Dance Studio, which he bought in May 2014. We typically have presenters that have startups within the last 3 years, or if there's a change in market, if there's a change in product, or a change in ownership. So, and that's what Peter's going to share with us. Take the Lead Dance Studio to teach ballroom, social, and competitive dancing through private and group lessons. So if anyone wants Peter to demonstrate, I'm sure he would want to do that as well. Great, Peter, take it away.
Good morning. How's everybody? Good. 7:30 is early, dude. Seriously. I think it's kind of cool. Yeah, I think it's cool to get together with a bunch of entrepreneurs. So I want to thank you for the introduction. Like you said, my name's Peter Ennis. I own Take the Lead Dance Studio up in Hocus in Delaware. A lot of people see shows like Dancing. Who watches Dancing with the Stars? Come on, I woke up early. Participate with me. So a lot of people see that Dancing with the Stars and they think, well, that's what ballroom dancing is, and it is. But that's actually performance dancing, because those are teachers that, you know, they work with a celebrity or somebody who's trying to become a celebrity, and they work for a week and they work on a 1.5 minute routine. But most of the people that want to take dance lessons don't want to do that performance. They don't want to be like Frank DeSantis. Where's Frank? Sorry, you got me into this, so I'm going to throw you under the bus. So most people just want to be comfortable and confident on the dance floor. So what we've done, we've created an environment where people, no matter if you're a guy or a girl, if you go to a formal affair like a wedding or something at Wilmington Country Club or Pond Theater, or if you're going to a country western bar or just a nightclub, where you can get comfortable. If you dance with your spouse, you dance with your significant other, or if you're dancing with a stranger, you can feel comfortable and confident getting on the floor. Does that make sense to everybody? So, you know, the way we do it is we have private lessons, which allow you to work with an instructor one-on-one or two-on-one, work on technique, work on styling, that kind of stuff. And we also have practice or group classes where you're working in a group of people. Because the purpose of real-world dancing, guys, if you're a guy, you want to be able to lead different women, right? So you want to be able to dance with different women. So a group class allows, as a man, to learn how to lead different women. And ladies, believe it or not, dancing is the last vestige of male supremacy known to mankind. I'm happily married 25 years. My wife is the boss of all good things. The only place I'm the boss is the dance floor. And we still disagree about that. But the idea is, when you're going to a group class, ladies, the idea is you want to learn how to follow. And then we also have dance socials, which allow you to, you know, practice in an environment where if you make a mistake, nobody dies. You know, it's not like practicing driving on a highway where you make a mistake. You can run over people. So we also, during the day, most of my business is in the evening. During the day also, where, you know, I've got a 5,000 square foot floor, so it's a big floor. So we open up the studio to other things. So I'm also, I'm a big believer in multiple income streams. I run multiple businesses. And one of the things I'm also doing is I'm doing corporate training, like team building events. Because I've been in the dance business for a little over 30 years. And I've noticed by running businesses and being in the dance business, there's a lot of things that you can learn on the dance floor that are applicable to real world stuff. Like if you think about dancing, like when you get, if you're a guy, who here's a guy? All right, so if you're a guy, you want to get your partner into a frame. You want to get her into an environment. Because dancing is really just a series of steps that you repeat over and over and over again. There's basic fundamentals that you do. Once you learn and you master your fundamentals, and you become a master of those fundamentals, you start adding style. But when you ask a woman to dance, you put her in a dance frame. And really, all that is you're creating an environment for her to feel safe and secure. And then your responsibility is to do your steps, but also give her confidence that you know what you're doing. And as entrepreneurs, I think it's our responsibility that we create an environment for our employees, the people that work for us, the people that work with us, where they can feel comfortable in their environment. And then they know that you know where you're going. Does that make sense? And you also have to have options, because if you're an entrepreneur, you have to be aware that things may change. Like on a dance social, it's crowded. So if you're doing, let's say, a foxtrot, and you think you're going to do one step, and you're doing this, and somebody gets in your way, oops, you need to move. So you have to have options. Same thing with as an entrepreneur, you have to have options, because sometimes unforeseen things take place, and you have to have the ability to get into and out of trouble as quickly as possible. All right? So the second thing you also need to do is, to me, honestly, a lot of people are a little hesitant about taking dance lessons because we're dudes, seriously, dudes. we never ask for instructions, we never ask for directions. A lot of guys don't want to say, I don't want to take dance lessons because I don't want to look foolish. Look, nobody wants to look foolish. Nobody ever wants to look foolish. But I've never, the idea is when you have enough courage to get up on the dance floor and do something that most people will never do, you stand out from the crowd. And as entrepreneurs, I think it's important that you stand out from the crowd. Because I've never run into somebody and said, they applaud the guy who's sitting on the sideline. Did you see the way that guy was sitting there not doing anything? Did you see the way he clapped? Nobody talks about that guy. They talk about the guy who's up on the dance floor doing something. Even if they're screwing up, they're talking about the guy who's in the game versus the guy who's watching the game. So it does take courage to get up and take dance lessons. And I'll allude to Frank again, because Frank was not the most, I'm sorry, dude, but you're here, so I'm gonna, like, we taught Frank, and Frank was not the most confident person, but he got up on the floor and he danced. And for those of you, was anybody here to watch him do the?
He rocked it.
He
absolutely rocked it.
He crushed it. But to be honest with you, and I said this to somebody else, nobody was looking at Frank anyway. They were looking at Rachel.
Sorry, Frank.
So, but do pay attention when he makes the announcements later on today. I've heard that's a big thing for everybody here. So, but the other thing is this, listen, just like, in dancing or in life, you have to master the fundamentals. You have to master the mundane. You have to master what brought you to, no pun intended, but what brought you to the dance. Sorry. And you have to get off on the right foot in the correct. So these puns, they're stupid. And so there are certain things that, to be able to get up on the floor and dance, I love to dance, and I love to do it because it teaches people how to do something that they're uncomfortable with initially, but once they do it, what happens is most people come in, I don't say most people, a lot of people come in, they're not sure what they're doing, their head is down, they're looking at their feet, and then after a certain period of time, they get up on the floor, they're dancing, and to have the confidence to do certain things that most people will never do, that's just a cool thing. So what I love about the dance business, specifically being a teacher and then also being an owner, is that when somebody comes in that doesn't have the confidence, they take dance lessons or do something, not necessarily to be able to dance, but because they're looking for something else. They're looking for added benefit. So when somebody comes in with lack of confidence and they do something, they get on the floor and they say to you, listen, you said something, you did something, you stood for something that changed the direction of my life, that's a cool thing. I'll finish with one real quick story. About 30-some years ago, I met a gal who was going through a bad divorce, and she came in for dance lessons. And we were having a dance competition. It was just kind of remember when we were kids, piano recitals? Okay, it was like a piano recital. And I invited her to come to the event. Not to dance, but just to come to the event, just to see other dancers at a higher level. So we were having dinner afterwards, and there was a gentleman who was a dancer that was sitting at our table. And he called her the next day. And she called me nervously. She says, that guy Doug or Dan or, you mean Dave? Yeah. Well, he asked me out. What do I do? This is how low confidence she was. What do I do? I said, well, do you want to go out with him? She says, yeah. So then say yes. Not a hard, there's value in saying yes. So long story short, they were married 2 years later. I was fortunate enough to be asked to be the best man at her wedding. It was so cool to see her, because I know she came in like this, and to see her dancing at her wedding, it was just the coolest thing. And to know that I played a small, very, very small role in that marriage. They're still very dear friends. They've been married over 30 years. It's just cool when you change the direction of someone's life. And as entrepreneurs, we have that same ability. So that's why I love the dance business, because I'm all about creating environments where people have the opportunity to win. So,